Hey everybody, welcome back to Jordan Samuel Skin Talks. How you doing? Okay, before we get started, a few things. I'm not trying a new setup like where I'm sitting. I'm clearly sitting in the same place I have for years now. But because I didn't want to change my phone setup that I have here for when I film things on my phone, I'm balancing this camera on this teeny piece of plastic. So let's hope it holds. Let's hope it holds because this is easier for all of us. Number two, what do we think of the hair? The PRP, the minoxidil, it's working, right? Look at it. The curls are back. Anyway, so I did say this was Skin Talks, which that's what it is, but we're doing fragrance again today. Herbal tea. Not a martini, sadly. Herbal tea. We've done Italian fragrances, and now I'm going to do British fragrances. Because I would say primarily in my life, just by the nature of gravitating towards what I like, I tend to have a lot of Italian fragrances and a lot of British fragrances. The British situation is going to make sense very soon when I give a bit of a backstory. And the Italian clearly makes sense. And if you didn't know, just a little teaser, we're not even working on it, it's finished. We have a finished fragrance that, if all goes well, and all is currently going well, we are looking to bring that out in November 2024 or December 2024. So holiday season 2024 will be our first fragrance launch. And the person who designed the fragrance is one of my most favorite Italian perfumers. I hope to do a live with him, a video with him, a combination of both as we lead up to the launch and after the launch. But I just wanted to do a tease. And with that, let's get into it. So I'm gonna do these, I'm not gonna mix and match. I'm gonna do these all one brand at a time because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 from one brand and then 2 others. Well, I shouldn't talk. I shouldn't talk. I'll just tell you about the fragrances and how's that. That's great. So, big fan of Jo Malone, the person and the brand. For years, I mean, I've been a Jo Malone brand fan since 2000 or 2001. 2001 at the latest. But I believe it was 2000. I had already left New York to go dance professionally in Seattle. However, my best friend was dancing at New York City Ballet. She took me to one of their galas, and their gift bags are always over the top. And Jo Malone had just come to the US, and one of the things, and they were owned by Estee Lauder already, and one of the things that was in the gift bags was a little travel size of nutmeg ginger. That was enough for me to fall into my love with Jo Malone, and then understand who it was. Jo Malone, the person. She obviously sold to Estee Lauder. She left the brand fully, I believe in 2004, 2005, 2000, something like that. Anyway, after her non-compete, she started a new brand called Jo Loves. Jo Loves is 100% owned by Jo Malone. The person has nothing to do with Jo Malone, the brand. And because I'm a fan of what Jo, the person, does with scents, I knew I was going to love this brand. I'm head over heels for this brand. It's been out since I believe 2011, so it's been a good amount of time now. However, I like to network with people, and back in the day when Jo was leading up to creating Jo Loves or starting Jo Loves, we sort of struck up a friendship on Twitter, and she was extremely helpful, extremely nice, extremely generous. And when she launched her first 4 fragrances, she said, I want to send you one. You've been so nice. You've been so supportive. And I was like, well, thank you. And the original 4 that launched were Pomelo, Green Orange and Coriander, Gardenia, and Orange Tulle, which was more of like a orange blossomy scent. All sounded great to me. And I said, Jo, is there one? I'm an Italian boy from the East Coast. She was like, say no more. I'm sending you Green Orange and Coriander. So Green Orange and Coriander is absolutely, without a doubt, my most worn fragrance of any brand, of any fragrance, of anything, at any time. Since 2011, I've been through more bottles of Green Orange and Coriander I'm going to show it to you today in her, I mean, this is terrible. I mean, that's not going to do anything, but in her fragrance paintbrush application. So if I do not have a bottle of green, orange, and coriander fragrance, I have the paintbrush. If I don't have the paintbrush, I have the fragrance. If I don't have either, I probably have a body cream or shower gel. It's me in a nutshell. It's citrus, but there's a bit of spice. It's warm. Anyway, this is Joe's nod to New York City in wintertime, New York City in fall, walking in the park with the beautiful foliage and colors, being in the snow in winter, or looking out your window and it's snowing and you're wrapped in a beautiful cashmere blanket, having a glass of wine at lunch, Sunday brunch. It's that sort of warm, cozy, but still comforting and clean scent. And it's just, oh my God, this scent is everything to me. And again, there's the history of it, as this was the first fragrance she sent to me. As soon as I said I'm an Italian boy from the East Coast, she was like, green, orange, and coriander, it's soulful and sassy, and that it is. But if you're familiar with Jo Malone, it's done in the Jo Malone way. So this is not a blast in your face. It's not overpowering, but people are going to smell it. They're going to be drawn to you. I'm just, God. And I actually have a little bit of this on today, so I'm going to show you. So I squeeze the bottom, and a teeny bit of this quick drying alcohol gel that carries the fragrance comes out. I'm just doing it on my pulse points, obviously, since I have a long sleeve shirt on. But you just paint your body with fragrance. I, at first, didn't really get on with these paintbrushes, and it's still not my preferred method of fragrance. I love spraying myself. I love spraying my clothes, the sheets, the blankets, the couch, the room. But this is great for a touch-up. If you want to touch up your scent and you're out, but you're not going to really offend anybody around you, you can just dab this on really quickly. You smell really good, but it's not going to go out 10 feet in front of you. But that is green, orange, and coriander. We had to start with the best, the one I've worn the most. It just is exquisite. Again, because it's balancing this green orange note with black pepper, and I guess would be remiss if I did not clarify the coriander aspect, as it means different things to different people depending on what part of the world you're in. This is coriander seed, so it's the warmth and the spice. It is not cilantro. So if you're somebody that does not enjoy cilantro, it is not this, which I know a lot of people call cilantro coriander. This is coriander seed. It's that warm, spicy seed mixed with black pepper, oak moss, and green orange. So it's this citrusy, warm, like, oh my God, it's so, so good. All right, let's next go into, where should we go next? Well, we'll go into the other scent I'm wearing with it today. So I love mixing scents and creating my own scent. The other one is Shards of Cedar and Red Thyme by Jo Loves. So this one, a lot of Jo's fragrances have a time and a place. This for her isn't necessarily a time and a place, but she said this is about seeing a woman or a man on the street who is suited and booted and dressed to the nines and just finished with that perfect, herbally, spicy, but clean fragrance. And it's, again, somehow exactly that. I know it's a little bit like when you're wine tasting and somebody's like, do you smell the raspberries? And all of a sudden you smell the raspberries even though you didn't smell the raspberries at first. I feel like it's a little bit like that with the storytelling, but this is suited and booted and dressed to the nines to me. It's, let's see, I have my notes. I actually came prepared. This is Red Thyme, obviously Shards of Cedar, and she does cedar so well. Cedar's one of my favorite notes, but I've had it in many fragrances where it just cuts wrong. The way Jo does cedar, she has it in this, she has it in another fragrance called Patchouli and Cedar, and then in a eucalyptus and cedarwood hand and body lotion and candle. But I love the way she incorporates and sees cedar. But so you have the Shards of Cedar, you have crushed spices, you have lavender and red thyme. So this is extremely herbally, spicy, fresh, suited and booted. This is, I have my red suit on, I'm gonna be wearing this. I have my light blue suit on, I'm gonna be wearing this. It just, oh. Now this I'm gonna spray because this is what I'm mixing today with green, orange, and coriander. which was a happy accident. Those are fragrances I've never really paired together. I think it was just last week. I had Shards of Cedar and Red Thyme on. I had the paintbrush. I was like, oh, I miss smelling like that. I should have done that today. Combine them together. Heaven. Heaven, I tell you, heaven. Okay, I'm gonna finish with her newest one. So we're gonna go now into White Roses and Lemon Leaves. I believe this is one of her best sellers. This isn't something I would normally gravitate towards all the time for myself, but my God, is this fragrance good. So now this is Joe's nod to the UK in terms of places and time. This is a English courtyard with a beautiful big white rose and peppered lemon leaves. So you have a little bit of that lemon oil, white roses, a little bit of pepper. This is, I think if you think of, and stay with me here because I'm not comparing it to this, but if you think of like an old-fashioned rose scent that maybe your mother or maybe your grandmother wore that you really enjoyed, but now smelling it you think it might smell a little old-fashioned or a little bit dated, this to me is she completely reinvented that. So it's now a modern day floral white rose lemon leaves. The lemon leaves and the lemon oil just give it this whole otherworldly scent. I love this so much. Where I really love this is in the room. So they have a diffuser with this, and her diffusers are unbelievably beautiful. They have a candle. The candle we have had, the candle is amazing. They have, I believe, a body cream, a body lotion, a shower gel. They might have a bath cologne. I love the bath colognes. And then also just spraying this on the sheets, on the couch. But it's like rose taken to another level, and it is so, so good. Now, her newest one is Amber Lime and Bergamot. So the thing with Joe is, because I'm very familiar with her perfumes, as you might be with X perfume company, X perfumer, when I see notes and I hear her name, I can easily blind buy it. I know it's going to be wearable. I know I'm going to get on with it. It might not be my most favorite scent in the world, but I don't necessarily need to seek out a sample. I'm going to enjoy it. And she has not let me down with that, with the new brand Gillette's. First of all, isn't this bottle gorgeous? This tortoiseshell, like, oh my God. So this goes without saying, Amber Lime and Bergamot. She describes this as warm, sexy, and elegant, and it absolutely is. It's extremely sexy. It's extremely elegant, and it is warm, but we're not pushing. The warmth of this is the touch of amber, but because you have the lime and the bergamot, this again isn't beast mode fragrance. This is not overpowering, but this is about celebrating indulgence and life's exciting moments, and this is an event and a party in Paris for Joe. And I get that. I get that this is more of a sophisticated, dressed up scent in her line. And that's what I love. I love that in another line, an Amber Lime and Bergamot might be knock you down, punch you in the face scent, which I love and I gravitate towards, and I have a beast mode fragrance here we're going to talk about. But I love to sort of have that essence without the beast mode a lot of the time, and that is this. This is making a statement without knocking the whole house down. So those are my Joe Loves fragrances. Now, let's go into this. Penhaligons Halfeti Leather. Come on, camera, do it for me. Don't we love, we miss me doing this, right? We miss me, there we go, look at that beauty. Now this is absolutely beast mode fragrance. A little goes a long, long way, where I might be doing upwards of 8 to 10 spritzes with this, and it's not gonna like make people run away from me. We're maybe getting 2, 3 with this. So that's the other thing. I'm totally fine to reapply a fragrance. If the staying power is weaker, yes, it's annoying, but I love reapplying. I love getting those top notes and heart notes and base notes all over again, going through that adventure. So I'm absolutely fine to reapply. I reapply all the time. I love fragrance. I just am totally taken by it and enamored with it. This one is not going to be a big reapplication, but Penhaligons, big famous British perfume house. This is a take on their original Halfeti, and this is just taking it up a level. So taking the warm spices, adding in leather and oud. So this is incense, plum, leather, oud. You're getting sort of dark, rich fruits, the leather, the oud. Think of this being where this might be like a light Pinot Noir or Sangiovese in terms of wine. This is your big California Cabernet. The deep, rich plum, the leather, the oud, the incense, but my God, it's good. I actually haven't worn this in a while because sometimes I just, well, hey, we're working on our own scent, so that's taken a lot of that up. But God, it's good. Now this, I don't even know if this is, there's a story here, but this is just make a statement scent. You are going to walk into the room, people are going to smell this, and they're probably going to either love it or hate it. I'm going to love it. I get a lot of compliments on it, but it definitely is beast mode fragrance. Now the last, and certainly not least, but I kept it last because I don't know, it potentially might be in stock if you are in the UK. You would have to email Amanda Lacey's company. So Amanda Lacey is a super famous facialist in London. She has 3 of some of my most favorite scents. You used to get them at small boutiques here or there in the US. She obviously can't ship. It's really hard sometimes for smaller companies, especially, to ship flammable alcohol-based fragrances across the world. But you can get this in the UK. When I was in the UK a year ago, actually almost to the day, I asked, I was like, by chance, do you have any fragrances hiding in the back? And they were like, we actually do, but because there's limitations on where it can be shipped, they turn it off and say out of stock. So it is worth checking on. But this is Amanda Lacey. This is gonna do it any justice. Look at this beautiful bottle. Look at that. Look at that. Herbe Marzoline. An Italian name, an Italian-inspired fragrance. Essentially, the herbs of March herbs, spring herbs, and that's exactly what this is. This is Tuscan Countryside. Think of the green rolling hills, all the fresh herbs starting to not take flight, but come out of the ground. It's green and fresh. So you have the citrus on the top, but that's immediately cut with mossy, woody, green base notes that create this beautifully herbal, green, Tuscan countryside, rolling hills scent. And the yellowish green color of the juice mixed with the beautiful green print on the bottle and the green atomizer just adds to that picture of beautifully just sitting out those first days of spring when all of a sudden the winter has really moved on. You have that fresh spring air, that beautiful blue sky, and then you have these green rolling hills and these fresh herbs, especially in a place like Tuscany. Oh my God, it's the you can smell the 2 worlds colliding, and it works so well in the scent, but you can smell those citrusy lemon bergamot top notes and then that mossy green woodiness coming together in the beginning. It dries down obviously to those beautiful green mossy notes, but you can still pick them up in the beginning, and it just, oh, it is good. This is another one. I love spraying the sheets. I love spraying myself. I mean, come on, I love that. Again, it's going to say out of stock on their website. It is worth emailing them if you are interested. She has 2 other scents that are also equally unbelievable. But that is my current British collection, and I believe Jo Loves is launching a new fragrance. I probably will be getting it, so I'm sure I'll be talking about it here. Pomelo is another one of Jo Loves fragrances that is usually in my arsenal. I love her Ebony and Cassis. If you have any questions about any other British fragrances or British fragrance brands, put them down below. I am happy to geek out with y'all. But I hope you enjoyed this video. We went a little long, but I guess I like talking about fragrance, which is why we're bringing out a fragrance. But until next time, bye.